You've counted every calorie, tried every diet, spent hours in the gym, and still something's missing. You want more than just weight loss. You want your energy back. You want your confidence restored. You want a way of living that doesn't feel like punishment. Welcome to Master Your Metabolism, where we cut through the noise, ditch the fads, and give you a real plan to become the healthiest, strongest version of you. Hosted by our team of expert coaches with proven strategies, science-based tips, and real-life encouragement, not just to help you lose fat, but actually create that lifestyle that you love. You've tried everything. Now, let's try what actually works. This is your turning point. Let's go. Hey there, everybody. Welcome to Master Your Metabolism. And I'm here with Coach Amanda, our mindset coach. And today we wanted to bring up the topic of vacations. Summer is coming. Everybody is going to be taking these vacations. So we just wanted to give you guys some ways to think about vacations, some ideas around behind it, how to prepare for it if you happen to be in a fat loss phase or just trying to improve your health. So hopefully you can grab some tips from this episode. And I wanted to start off with Amanda kind of sharing about how people view vacations, especially if they are on some type of journey that they are changing their way of doing things. If they were eating very unhealthy before and they're trying to improve their health, or if they're in a weight loss journey, how it needs to shift from how they were doing things before to now.
I think the most relevant concept when it comes to vacations, as far as mindset goes, is all or nothing thinking.
Hmm.
And how that plays out is vacations are typically seen as a reward. They're your time off to relax, to enjoy yourself, to have a treat, to do something that you don't normally do because you're on vacation. And if you're aligning with all or nothing thinking, then you're thinking, I'm going to reward myself and have a treat and completely neglect all of the things that I was doing with my nutrition back home because this is a break. What winds up happening is that people end up eating a lot more, indulging in things that they don't normally indulge in because they're looking at this as a reward, as opposed to just a short period of time where things are going to be a little bit different. So it's really important to remember that your goals don't cease being your goals just because you're on vacation. Now, does that mean that when you go on vacation, you have to bring your scale, you have to weigh and measure all your food, you have to make sure you're following your training split exactly? No, some of those things are going to loosen up a little bit too on vacation, but we're looking for a happy medium between the reward and the overindulgence and staying so true to the plan that you aren't able to rest and relax.
That fun gray space that people love.
Happy
And
gray space.
it is, but I find that, the problem is it is that all or nothing thinking, and then they wind up coming back and regretting everything that they've done. They come back, the scale is up, or they feel like garbage, or they start feeling like they can't get that momentum to get back into the space. So I almost feel like having an understanding, and typically with my clients, we prepare beforehand and we have a plan. And I think that's really helpful is when you're going into something like a vacation or something, whatever is going to change your routine, a weekend away, you are going to be staying at a friend's house, whatever it happens to be, that if you have a plan of what you're going to do when you're doing that, it's just like with work. If you have a different project you need to work on, you're not just going to say, well, let's see what happens. It's the best way to be prepared is by understanding, okay, this is coming up. This is what's changing. I still want to make sure that when I come home, I feel my best. I feel proud of what I did. And it's almost like that good, better, best. So I am not going to be 100%, but how about I'm going to do the best that I can? So some of the things that I always share with people that we do when we travel, because we are having to be a little bit more strict, just because whenever we travel, we typically are always on prep. And we always tend to look for a place to stay that has amenities to be able to allow us to keep our food cold. So having a fridge, having a microwave, if we can get something that has a bigger fridge, great. But something that has something available there, even the meals there, we tend to look at things and say, okay, what can we bring with us that is more typical of what we're eating. We can bring our protein powders or some bars if we need to. We can, think about, okay, well, we're going to stay here. Is there a store nearby that we can use? Maybe Instacart, and thinking about things that we can have delivered to the room that we can keep in there that are snacks that are not going to like throw us way off plan.
I think one of my favorite things that I tell my clients, well, the first one is that when you're eating any of your meals when you're out, if you're not tracking and you're not counting, at least try to make sure that your meal is made up of about a third, a third, and a third. So a third protein, a third carb, a third healthy fat. And you can do that pretty easily in most restaurants, swapping out sides, things of that nature. Do not be afraid to ask for accommodations. If you want your vegetables cooked without oil, they will do that for you. You just have to ask. But the one tip that most of my clients really do well with is when you're traveling, you want to eat, generally speaking. You want to go out, you want to see the cuisine for wherever you are. But instead of thinking about eating and consuming, I tell my clients to think about sampling. So when you're out and about, if you want some ice cream, go ahead, get a kitty cup. That's totally reasonable. There's no reason to get the extra large waffle cone covered in chocolate and sprinkles, even though I would like one.
Yeah.
But think about just trying things and maybe getting sharing plates if you're with a spouse or family members, having a little bit of this, a little bit of that, as opposed to just mass quantities of food. And that smaller portion is going to help you, even though the quality of the food might not be as good as we're used to because we're diminishing quantity. That's going to even the score.
What is that? Mm,
Damage control,
damage control.
harm reduction, all the same
Reduction.
things.
That's the one.
Yep.
The one. It's true. You don't want to think like I'm going to be 100%, right? And I'm scared because I don't also want people to feel like they can't have a little bit of things that they don't normally eat. And if your whole family is out there doing things, you're not going to be sitting there with some Tupperware and eating your grilled chicken and broccoli. Like that's not what it's about because it is something social. But there's a difference between being social and being present with who you're there with and not thinking about it like, let me just consume all the food I can because when I go back, I know I'm going to have to be strict again. It's having that balance and looking at the situation saying, this is a time I get to enjoy with my family and I'm just going to enjoy being with them and sample a couple of things and being able to enjoy the moment and the experience rather than just hyper focused on let me see all the things that I can eat. If you want to go out, say you're going to be away, and I know you have said this before, we've done it on one of our support calls, is that when you're looking at the timeline that you're away for a whole week. So thinking about, okay, these are the days that I'm going to enjoy a dinner, that I'm going to eat what I want and just be able to enjoy the foods. And then these other days, I'm going to enjoy foods that are closer and more typical of the foods that I typically eat at home. It's almost like you're going to keep the same types of habits. You're just in a different spot. It's not, I think that's the view of it that needs to kind of change is it's not well, cool, I'm at Disney World now, so let me just eat all of the things.
I think the important thing to remember is that the structure itself may change, but the need for structure does not change.
Mm,
So you still have to make sure that you're getting in a decent amount of protein, make sure you're getting your water in. Be a little cautious around alcoholic beverages because that's going to jack up your calories and your carbs and have an effect on your body. Make sure you're getting sleep and rest. So it doesn't have to be that you can't have any fun, but the structure that you're adapting at home can be adapted to vacation life where we can find moderation.
yep. And moving your body is another thing. I tell people when you're on vacation, you're probably getting more steps, especially those of us that work at home and sit in front of a desk all day. You're moving more. And if you are moving more, you can consume more calories, not 6 plates full of calories. But you want to think that even if you have some meals that might be a little bit more than you typically eat, if you make a conscious effort to, you know what, I'm going to walk after my meals. I have the time to do it. I'm going to go with my friends or with my family and we're going to go do something outside. Like that's a way that you can have that balance and still being able to enjoy and thinking about, well, I'm making an effort to move more so I can have some foods that I don't normally have and have a little bit extra sometimes. But again, really paying attention to the one plate versus six plates.
And that is something I always talk about for people who go on cruises or
Yeah.
buffets. There is a one plate rule. You divide that plate into all the little tiny bites that you want, but you get one plate because anything over one plate is just unnecessary. And what we're looking to do here is mitigate the harm when you come back and step on the scale. So if you're able to go away on vacation, you're able to regulate it pretty well. You come back, the scale's up 3 pounds. We'll knock that out in a week. There's no problem there. But if you go ham and you eat everything in front of you and the scale's up 12 pounds, yes, it's possible. Yes, I've seen more on
Yep.
cruises.
Yep.
Then it's going to take you weeks and you're going to feel like you're set back and you're disheartened. And it really does interrupt the whole process.
It does because people lose their momentum and then they feel they're failing. And the thing is that we talked about this the other day, is when you think about coming back and you're like, wow, you know what? I went away and I actually came back and I'm pretty good. And I got right back to where I was. It's that confidence that knows that next time you go away, you have built that confidence in knowing that you have the willpower, you have the ability to be able to enjoy a vacation and come back and nothing has changed. And we just continue on the journey rather than that whole feeling of guilt, wind up saying, well, I failed. Now it's going to throw me off track. Now it's going to take weeks to get back on. And then before you know it, now there's another holiday or another vacation or something else coming up. And that's where people give up. So it's really that matter of learning the skill of looking at things differently than you might have in the past and keeping that all or nothing thinking to the gray space and really using the skills that your coaches are giving you, using the skills that you're learning. And then every time it kind of gets better and gets easier, and you can enjoy some things. And the alcohol thing, that is the only thing that will kind of roll things off because I tell people, especially with cruises, it's alcohol all day long, all week long. And when you are drinking alcohol, anything over like a glass or two, you are going to wind up that your body cannot metabolize that food that you ate while it is trying to remove a toxin from the body. So all of the calories that you are eating are being stored. So just keeping that in mind, it's going to disrupt your sleep. But the more important thing is that if you are drinking day after day after day, all of the food is fat metabolism is on hold. So that will come back and result. That's where I see things come back. And it takes a very long time for your body to kind of catch up. So,
I think the most important thing about vacations that I struggle with is sometimes I get so wrapped up as a type A individual, so
mhm,
wrapped up in sticking to the plan, making sure I'm eating, doing what I'm supposed to do. You're on vacation, you're supposed to enjoy yourself. And we're looking for a cortisol drop here. So it's really important that you're enjoying yourself as well. Now, enjoying yourself and overindulging are different things. And I think that that's a skill that needs to be practiced, especially if you're very new to this lifestyle. The first vacation is going to feel very scary. There's going to be a lot of fear there because you're not sure if you're going to be able to handle it. And it's likely that you're going to have one indulgence and say, I failed, I ruined the whole thing, screw it. And that's going to put you in an area where it might be difficult to come back from.
yep.
So, enjoy yourself, have a good time, but don't overindulge.
And remember too, it's like when you're somewhere, it's not just the food. Like, if you happen to be on a cruise, there's people there. You're there with somebody, right? Those are the people. It's like the experience of having that socialization, the experience of being able to be in a place you're not usually, like being present to what is around you, not just the plate of food that's in front of you. That's not the only thing. So awesome. All right, guys. I hope this helped. Just a few tips and tricks we thought we could share that we have noticed from some of the clients and things that have helped them to be successful. So hopefully you got some value. If you wouldn't mind, please share a review. We would truly appreciate it. Follow us for more. And if you have any other things you would like us to share on here, drop them in the comments. And until next time, we'll see you guys soon. Thanks for tuning in to Master Your Metabolism. If you found value in today's episode, it would mean the world to us if you'd hit subscribe and share this episode with someone who could use a little guidance in their health journey. Ready to take the next step? Head over to www.mastersfitnesscoaching.com and you can book a free call right from the site so we can chat about your goals and how we can help support you. Don't forget to join our Facebook group where we're sharing coaching tips, support, and tricks to help keep you on track and continue making progress. You don't have to do this alone. We're here to walk with you every step of the way. Until next time, stay consistent, stay kind to yourself, and keep mastering your metabolism. Let's do this together.